In this video, we're going to go hunting for 1994 Score Billy Wagner rookie cards by opening up a junk wax box. I'm going to take you on a journey of finding the card in the box, sending it for grading, and getting it back. Stick with me and you'll see that it wasn't quite as simple as you would hope. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me on my channel, Brutus on Baseball. Like I said, we're going to open up a box of 94 Score baseball cards today, looking specifically for that Billy Wagner rookie card, the only Wagner rookie card that I don't have in my PSA set registry. So the goal of this video is to find one hopefully in good condition and send it off to be graded so I can add it to my list. Things didn't go quite as planned in this video, so I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit at a couple different parts just to try to make the video a little less long for all you guys out there. So here we go. We're gonna start with these 1994 Score boxes. I've got two of them. I'm just gonna open one probably for this, but I got a retail box, hobby box, and I just wanted to see what the difference was. I've actually never opened these boxes before. I loved Score when I was a kid, you know, like 1990, 91, 92 Score. I really enjoyed getting, you know, a lot of the cool cards they had back then. The Dream Team was a cool card, Cooperstown cards, things like that. But I think they had some, you know, some gimmicky cards too that were great for kids. But by 1994, I was, let's say 16 years old, some 15 years old. And I think I had kind of grown out of Score a little bit. I was more into Ultra and Leaf and things like that. Flare was a big one in 94. So I had kind of left Score behind by that time. So I've never opened a box. I don't really know what it's going to be like. So it's going to be cool. But the whole purpose of this is Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner has his rookie cards in 1994 sets, and I think he's bound to get in the Hall of Fame this coming year in the next Hall of Fame cycle. That would be 2025. And I've got all of his rookie cards that I need except for the Score. And so the Score, for whatever reason, they're really hard to come by. Pop reports are really low for PSA, BGS, and SGC. And so for whatever reason, you know, I've bought all the other ones over time, but the Score I still don't own. So I figured the best way is to get on here and open a box myself, see what I can find in terms of Billy Wagner rookie cards, and hopefully get the Gold Rush too. These have the Gold Rush parallel. See what kind of condition they are and show you guys kind of the whole journey of a baseball card, from opening packs in a box from an old box. This is 30 years old now, and also show, you know, the card condition, getting it ready for grading, and hopefully getting grades back, all in this video. So we're going to check it out. Hopefully it works out that way, but we'll see how we do. So let's get right into this one. So we've got Series 2, obviously. Look for the cycle cards randomly inserted, and 13 cards per pack plus one bonus gold foil rush card. Gold Rush is what they call it. So I don't know what the odds are if they say it. Yeah, Score presents the top 5 in singles, doubles, triples, and home runs. So 20 card set called the Cycle. Chances are not less than 1 in 72 packs. Wow. So actually not easy to come by for the Cycle cards. This is going to be, I don't know, usually 36 packs. So 1 every 2 boxes. So who knows? And let's see if they're stuck together. Oh, they are. They are bricked together. All right, so there you go. That's what happens with these old cards, old boxes. Sometimes it's just a waste of money. Luckily, you know, I only spent, I think, $25 on this, something like that. So not the end of the world, but you can just see, like, with how bricked up it is, it really sucks for these old cards that they're bricked so badly. Some sets are like this. Honestly, I hadn't done my research enough to see if the 94 Score would brick like this. You can see the Gold Rush. They're pretty cool cards, actually. Kind of the gold around the trim and the shiny foil. But these cards are not going to survive. They're, I'll throw this aside. Everything is just stuck together. So just absolutely worthless to get it like that. Norm Charlton. I will still go through the box on my own and see, you know, I'm curious if a bricked box like this is going to have many Billy Wagner cards, how many of them got destroyed like this. And hopefully there's no Billy Wagner Gold Rush cards. But yeah, there's 2 packs worth of absolutely ruined 1994 Score baseball cards. Okay, so let's set that aside for now. Shove you aside because you are basically garbage. And we're going to look into the hobby box. We're going to see if it's the same problem or not. I think a lot about, how it's been stored over the years. And maybe this one's been stored a little bit nicer. So feels pretty much like a brick in there too. This will just go to show me that should buy one thing first and keep it at one. Actually, these are better. Okay, so these are coming apart. All right, so we'll open this box. Got Jack Armstrong, Charles Nagy, Tony Pena, Kevin Moss, old huge prospect. I made a video about them. And the Gold Rush, of course, is, and that's a Mike Piazza. Gold Rush, of course, is the one that's sticky. Shouldn't be surprised. There's the Cycle card. Pretty destroyed, pretty banged up. But yeah, 145 singles. So he ranked number 4. I guess there was a tie for number 5, but he ranked number 4 for the most singles in 1993. I'm guessing. Doesn't actually have it on there. But there's a Cycle card. Not supposed to get too many of them. Kevin Rogers, Pat Hentgen, 93 draft pick Scott Christman, Thomas Howard, and John Doherty. And we'll see if we can get this Gold Rush apart nicely. If we're going to lose all the front of it. It's just a little bit, actually. It's not that bad. See if we can... that might be where it was stuck. But it's a pretty beautiful looking card. Mike Piazza, Rookie of the Year in gold. I like that card. I have a feeling it's not going to be very good on the surface just because of how stuck it was, but I'll take a better look at it later, see if it's salvageable or not. I think it's that one spot that's probably going to be pretty bad. All right, so we're going to get into this and see how we can do in terms of Billy Wagner cards. I think, thinking about it, I think that there was really no other rookies in this set, Series 2. The only other one in 1994 Score might have been Torrey Hunter, I think. So we'll see if he's in this series. I can't remember. Solomon Torres for the Gold Rush card. Jeremy Burnett, Kevin Higgins, Ross Powell, Florida Marlins, their brand new stadium in 1994. Randy Milligan, Bob Welch, Chris Turner, and Kevin Gross. All right. Pretty, decent looking cards. I can see that, Score had gotten a little bit serious, stopped using so many early 1990s colors by 1994, going with the kind of plain blue border. Condition sensitive, I would say. You can see how scuffed up a lot of them are. Frank Viola was a great player. David Segui, Tom Brunansky. A lot of the edges and corners are pretty scuffed up. So it looks like they might be. Oh, geez, that's another good one. I'm going to take my time on that one. Lou Frazier. These are a little bit stuck together, not nearly as bricked as the last box. But just like, it seems like one little spot in each card is bricked together. Rod Beck, he was a fun closer to watch back in the early 90s. Carlos Quintana and Jeff Russell. All right, let's see if we can get this Tom Brunansky card off. Break it up a little bit. You can hear the little cracks where each spot is just barely attached. And I don't know a better way to do it. I'd push on the card in front of it and see if I can get it off. But there's the Ken Griffey Jr. with the gold foil on the top missing. So it's a season highlights card. It wasn't his base card, but definitely a ruined gold foil card on that one. Mike Piazza definitely turned out a lot better. So those gold foils are going to be the ones that you got to watch out for a little bit. It's too bad. Griffey 94 Score Gold Rush, that probably would have been a pretty good card to get in good condition. But it is what it is, right? You gotta take what you get. especially with these really old boxes. You can't buy an old box and just expect everything's going to be in perfect condition. On here, hunting for the Billy Wagner rookies, I would be incredibly lucky to even get a PSA gradable card. So this is kind of a test for me to see if I can find them, see maybe why they're so rare. Maybe it's hard to find them. Raul Mondesi, Brooks Kieschnick. He was in my prospect bust video as well from the early 90s, mid 90s. Now he was a pretty big two-way player, meaning he could pitch and hit in college, and the Cubs decided to make him a hitter, but he ended up eventually making it into the major leagues as a pitcher. His best year, I think, was with the Milwaukee Brewers. Robin Ventura, not a Hall of Famer, but really great star. Julio Franco. And let's see here, Gold Rush of another Hall of Fame guy. Let's see how stuck this is. Yeah, it's stuck on there, unfortunately. Sounds like we're going to lose most of the Gold Rush cards. Paul Molitor. Definitely some missing pieces in there. Yeah, I don't think either of these Gold Rushes are going to be salvageable if they're stuck even a little bit together. That, the surface comes right off as soon as it gets the chance to. So, okay. Now Martin on the back. We got Pat Borders, Juan Guzman, and Chili Davis, Mike Felder. Chili Davis is still around the game. I think he was a hitting coach for quite a while. Wasn't a hugely successful or popular hitting coach, but he was. There's Chipper Jones. Decent looking card of a young Chipper. Jack Voigt. Dave Winfield, 3,000 hits. Got 3,000 hits with the Twins. Tim Costo, sorry, not Costco. I'm not going to do a shameless plug here. Sherman Obando, 1993 rookie. And a Phil Hyatt, 1993 rookie. Deion Sanders, become more of a star after his playing career, it seems. Spike Owen and Al Martin. All right. Thanks for joining me on this journey, opening these 94 packs. There's really not a whole lot to get excited about when you actually do start opening these cards. There is the Gold Rush, which are cool, but if you got bricked cards, they're suddenly not as cool. Bobby Bonilla, every Mets fan's favorite player. Teddy Higuera, Howard Johnson, Alan Trammell, Hall of Famer, and a Tom Pagnozzi. So we had a pretty loose Gold Rush card with no sticking, and of course it was a fairly common player. Nigel Wilson, rookie prospect. If I remember right, he was really, really fast. Ryan Thompson, rookie. Kurt Abbott, rookie. And as you can see, there were not a lot of rookies that really panned out from this set. Brett Boone had a chance to, but he had some great seasons in the 90s with the Mariners, but just didn't really keep it up. Cy Young Award, Greg Maddux, Edgar Martinez, a great Mariner as well from the 90s. Man, those 90s Mariners were just some juggernaut teams. Edgar and guys like Randy Johnson, Brett Boone, Jay Buhner, Ken Griffey Jr. obviously, and started adding in guys like A-Rod and others. Just some fantastic teams that just couldn't quite do anything in the postseason to get them to their first World Series. So they're still, even after all this time, still hunting for their first World Series appearance. All right, another Gold Rush card. Not an important one, so we'll just peel it. Rick Sutcliffe lost a lot of his foil off the top. Another Robin Ventura. Alex Cole. Julio Franco. Benji Gill. Tony Tarasco. Philadelphia Phillies, the old vet. Rondell White. He was actually a pretty decent player, but just struggled with a lot of injuries, so couldn't quite have a good career at the end of the day. It was a decent career. Jay Powell, Ryan Klesko, another one that had a great early start to his career, but peaked pretty early. Trot Nixon was another pretty big prospect in the 90s as well for the Red Sox. Had some good seasons, but just couldn't put the whole career together either. So when there's so much stuck together, there's not a lot to really look at. Not a lot of star players in this series too, and everything's kind of stuck together. It's just kind of disappointing. And then your insert sets are only 1 every 72, so I may have already gotten my insert that I'm going to get out of 2 boxes. And there's another Todd Van Poppel. Man, this is like a walking advertisement for my Prospect Bus series. Kevin Moss, Todd Van Poppel, got Wrigley Field, Brooks Kieschnick, all those guys. If you haven't seen my Prospect Bus video, then go check those out. I'll link them. Season highlights, Jim Abbott threw a no-hitter. Pretty amazing story, this guy. If you're a young fan, you don't know who Jim Abbott is, look him up a little bit. He was born without a hand, so he had to pitch and field with his glove with the same hand, and he had to switch the glove back and forth because when he fielded it, he had to then switch the glove and throw it with the same hand again to first base. But a guy like that pitching a no-hitter, it's pretty cool. Successful fielder, and not just pitching a no-hitter, but having a decent, successful career. It's good to see. Divine White, Gold Stars. I think that must be... Oh, you know what? I think that there is a Gold Stars insert set. And of course, we're going to get them all destroyed as well, along with the gold foil. Pretty cool looking cards, actually. I wish I could get them in good condition instead of throwaway condition. But what is she going to do, right? There's the season highlights. Game for Junior, 8 home runs in a row. I remember growing up in Seattle when that happened. Like that was a fun time to be a Mariner fan. Trust me on that. All right, Mike Lansing rookie, Todd Hundley, and the Greg Maddux on the back. Let's see. It talks about the Gold Stars on this pack. Gold Stars, 30 National League Gold Stars randomly inserted into Series 1 Hobby. Gold metallic cardstock, 1 in 18 packs. So we might actually get 2 of those Gold Stars in these packs. Unfortunately, they won't be in great condition. I doubt it, at least. Eric Anthony, Mackie Sasser, Mark Lemke, and Paul Wagner on the back there. Mark Hutton, Three Rivers Stadium, the old Pittsburgh Stadium. Torrey Hunter, there's the Torrey rookie card, so that's kind of a cool one. See how we can get that one off. Hopefully it's not too bad. Didn't seem like anything was stuck on the front, and there may have been something stuck on the back, but not too bad. The edges, like whenever you get a little bit of being stuck to the next card, and you try to get a card like that graded, I find that it's the edges that kill you. That's hard to see sometimes. When you really look closely at the edges, you start to get some missing front. I'm gonna put this Torrey Hunter aside. Torrey Hunter is one of those guys. He keeps on getting Hall of Fame support every year, but kind of in the 10-15% of the vote range. Doesn't seem, even lower actually. I think he hovers just below 10%. So nothing that's going to get him close, and it seems like he's just going to stay on there for 10 years because he has his following, but he's never going to really gain a lot of traction because his career just wasn't that great. It was definitely worthy of looking at for the Hall of Fame, but not getting in and over the line. But he was still a great player and was a fun player. Just one of those personalities that was incredibly infectious, and you enjoyed his smile. And he had one of the all-time plays in the playoffs that he didn't make, actually. But when he tumbled over the wall trying to catch David Ortiz's home run, I was a huge Tigers fan. That's my team, and I was so upset to see him not be able to come up with that play. But it's a cool memory. Flipped over the wall, banged his head. Other than that, great defensive player. Gold Glover, I think, for a couple years. And Will Cordero with the Gold Rush card. San Francisco Giants and San Diego. Not back-to-back. There's a Javier Lopez rookie prospect. Oh, okay. He was actually a decent catcher for the Braves teams of the 90s. Got San Francisco, old Candlestick, and San Diego, the old Jack Murphy Stadium. Hilly Hathaway. I've never heard that name before. Danny Bautista, Charlie Liebrandt, Mike Pagliarulo, Mike McFarlane, and Greg Olson. All right. Tell me in the comments down below, have you opened up one of these 1994 boxes? And if so, did you have the same problem with bricking? I'm curious. I bought these two. I'm wondering if I should buy any more, or if this is the reason why you can't find any good Billy Wagner rookie cards that have been graded. Maybe they just are too difficult to find in good condition anymore these days, and it's not a card that you would have opened and put into a sleeve or a hard case back in 1994. David Cohn, back when he was with the Royals, pretty good player. Actually, no, I didn't see those at first. I was thinking that they're pretty good condition, came off without missing much of the surface, but when you hold it in the right light, you can see around his waistband and his pants. I've got some missing little divots on the surface. Mark Valdez. Yeah, so that's probably why we're not getting any Billy Wagner rookie cards on the market these days. Houston, the old Astrodome. Brian Anderson, Mariano Duncan, Mickey Morandini, and Hal Morris. Especially the Gold Rush. If they're like this, it's going to be really hard to find any Gold Rushes. So even if you get any star players like that Griffey that we got, man, that would have been great, because my guess is that, I'll look it up afterwards, but my guess is that there are very few graded Griffey Gold Rush cards from 1994 Score. And if there are, they're probably not a lot in the higher grades. So check that out and see if that's the case or not. Rob Beck, missing a bunch. Roger Salkeld, Paul Quantrill, Larry Lubers, another guy that I've not heard of before. Got the Carlos Delgado, and it looks like we're missing quite a bit on the surface, unfortunately, for the Delgado. But good little Jays prospect back when he was a catcher coming up. I'll put him over here, even missing a little bit of the surface. I like to see him. David Need, it's a pretty hot pitcher for the Rockies when they first started as a franchise. Lots of missing on that Edgar. Kevin McReynolds, Roberto Hammond, mostly with the Expos. I think he played with the Red Sox a little bit, if I remember right. Okay, John Smoltz. I have not seen any, absolutely no Billy Wagner so far. Darryl Strawberry has a following sometimes, but definitely missing some on the surface. Robbie Thompson. Our Gold Rush is going to be a stadium. The old Busch Stadium, St. Louis. Lots missing on that surface. So I'm starting to realize that if you can find a decent looking Gold Rush card especially, or even a decent looking Score, that's kind of a cool card. Manny Ramirez, rookie prospect. See if that came out in decent shape. One of the Manny cards you don't see. Like, I don't even remember seeing this card when I was a kid, but it's got a big sign in the background. Manny Ramirez, rookie prospect. It's a nice looking card. Definitely a rough cut along the top. But I'll set that aside. It's always interesting when you come across a card that was from the time period when you grew up and you don't ever remember having seen it before. But like I said, I had never opened up a box of 94 Score, or let alone collected. I don't think I have a single 94 Score card in my collection until today, until I open up all these bricked ones that I will likely not keep either. John Smoltz. Darryl Strawberry again. So they definitely have repetition kind of put together. It's got the Gold Rush card just absolutely stuck. So Kevin Reimer, not gonna last. Jeff Granger, Steve Scarsoni. Steve Scarsoni. There's a National League MVP, one of many for the Great Barry Bonds. And missing some on the surface. Keith Kessinger, Kevin Gross. Charlie Liebrandt, Mike Pagliarulo, and Mike McFarlane again. All right, let's see. Dennis Martinez on the back. Good pitcher, solid pitcher. Paul Molitor, looks like he's missing a lot. This one's pretty bricked. Ah, there's the Billy Wagner in the bricked pack. And we'll see, maybe it survived a little bit. I think, it looks decent. So that's the one I've been looking for. Definitely going to sleeve it up. And we'll take a better look, under a lens later on. Pretty good centering right off the bat. You can see that a little bit off top to bottom, but left and right looks pretty good. And I don't see a lot of missing surface, so we'll see. Maybe we got super lucky on that one. Luis Gonzalez, good career later on with the Diamondbacks. Joe Oliver, Bobby Munoz, Steve Scarsoni again, Jeff Granger. Raul Mondesi, New York Shea Stadium. Jeff Schultz with the Gold Rush. And David Cohn again. Mike Devereaux. So we got the two rookies that we're looking for. Somewhat decent condition. Who knows? Maybe I can send one of those, send that Billy Wagner in to get a 9. If I get a 9, it's better than what I got. So it's a place to start at least. David Justice. Oh, that's stuck. Kevin Appier. Got a Brady Anderson. Had a phenomenal year with the Orioles in the early 90s, but probably was pretty steroided up. Scott Christmas. Kirk Presley. Pat Henkin. Kim Batiste. Jeff Schwartz. Rick, what was that? Turtleisek. I don't know how to say that one. Anybody knows how to pronounce that one phonetically, let me know in the comments. Turtleisek. Okay. And Dave Telgbetter, another guy I've never heard of. Probably were good minor league players, but just never hit it at all in the major leagues. But I don't even remember a guy, Dave Telgbetter, that made the Mets roster. So goes to show you, I don't remember everything from the 90s. All right, Eddie Zambrano with a ruined Gold Rush. Tim Raines with a ruined surface as well. Chris Hoyles, lots of front missing on that. Jerry Brown. Joe Carter, series winner. Everybody remembers that 93 World Series walk-off home run. Benji Gill, got the Rod Beck again. Rick Sutcliffe, Jeff Kent again. That's, I'll set it aside. Jeff Kent's one of those guys. He's not a Hall of Famer, but I think it's just a matter of time. Give him a chance to appear on a Veterans Committee ballot, and I think his peers, writers, managers, owners, whoever gets on that committee is going to put him right in. Probably waltz right in. All right, got another Brooks Kieschnick. I would really have loved to have gotten more Billy Wagners. 3 Billy Wagners instead of 3 Brooks Kieschnick cards. But Chris Sabo, I love that guy. I don't know what it was about him wearing those goggles. I just thought that he was such a cool player back in the early 90s for the Reds. He was a decent third baseman, had some good years, but just couldn't stick with it. Kind of faded pretty quickly. Maybe it was injury. Steve Carsey, Paul Wagner, Solomon Torres, Scott Ruffcorn, and Busch Stadium. Has an interesting back. Kirk Presley. Kirk is related to Elvis, a third cousin. It just looks like a 1960s Mets picture. Doesn't look like a 93 draft pick. That's hilarious. All right, Orestes Destrade. I remember him because he was one of the Marlins' first expansion draft picks. Ken Caminiti, Jay Buhner, one of my favorite Mariners growing up. He was so much fun. Everybody loved Jay. Kirk Manwaring, Jack McDowell. There's the second Gold Stars card. Ruined, of course, but I love these Gold Stars cards. And Todd Hundley with the Gold Rush. I'm gonna have to put those on my list to look for a little bit. Kind of fun to check them out. John Wasden, Brian Terang. I wonder if he's related to Bryce Terang. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'll put that down here too. 1993 rookie, Brian Terang. Royce Clayton. Jeff Gardner, another 93 rookie. Kim Baptiste and Kirk Presley, the 60s looking Met. Not so 60s on the front, but definitely on that back picture, he looked like an old time Met. Thinking about that one. I haven't seen the second one. Got a few of Tim Salmon's. Anybody that's an Angels fan knows I've got an affinity for fish on that team. Really great players with fishy names. Tim Wakefield. There's the Tim Salmon. Kevin Reimer. Jeremy Burnett with the Gold Rush card. Sterling Hitchcock. The Frank Thomas MVP. First time we're seeing that one. And an early Pedro Martinez card in the Dodgers uniform. Again, that one's ruined. Lost some of its surface on the Frank Thomas. And then we got the Tim Salmon Rookie of the Year. So definitely getting into some cards that we've not seen yet. Jeff McNeely, Greg Maddux, and Carl Rhodes. So lots and lots of repeats in this box, but definitely some cards that we have not seen yet, so would not easily be able to fill up a set on something like this. Pretty typical of stuff back in the early to mid 90s, so shouldn't be surprised at all. And probably typical of stuff even to this day. Get more repeats and can't fill a complete set from a box. But got a Gold Rush Larry Walker that's been ruined as well. I'm going to move this David Cohn. Every time I look at the David Cohn, I see the missing flakes as well. Paul Molitor, same thing. Mike Piazza, you can see it around his belt, and right out there in the green. Not as bad, but after looking at a whole box of it, you can tell pretty quickly, yeah, these are not going to grade well, at least for the Gold Rush. The regular cards, maybe. I'll have to take a better look at the surface of some of these. That one's done. Finally coming down to the end of it. Thanks everybody so much for hanging with me on this one. Maybe it's interesting out there for some, but it's not one of the most exciting box openings that I've done, even for this old junk wax era. I don't know if this is 94 is in junk wax anymore. I think it's like right on the cusp of leaving the junk wax era. But still, Darryl Boston, not one of the most exciting boxes, especially when you pull out your hit cards like the Gold Stars cards, or a really good Gold Rush of a star player. And you can see it's just ruined right from the get-go. It's disappointing. Doesn't make it as much fun to open. But Rafael Palmeiro, kind of a pathetic looking card there. I put him in the Hall of Fame pile. He's got 3,000 hits. I mean, come on. Even if he's not in the Hall of Fame, whatever your opinion of him, he was a great player. He accumulated the stats. He's got a place in baseball history at the very least. So Roger Pavlik. The Gold Rush. Don Wetland, Bernard Gilkey, Chris Foyles, there's the Pavlik. Pittsburgh Stadium again. There's another Torrey Hunter. Got 3 Torrey Hunters. Unfortunately, only 1 Billy Wagner so far. That one looks better than the other Torrey Hunter that I pulled. That's on the surface, that's on the surface, yeah. I'll sleeve that one up, might as well. May not hurt getting some Torrey Hunters graded. Might not be a lot of them out there either. If there's any Torrey Hunter fans out there, just let me know. Should I get these graded? Let me know in the comments. Down to the last 3 packs. Of course, they get even harder to open. Watch me struggle through the last few minutes of this video. If you don't want me to open that end, I'll switch it up and open the other end. Pete Incaviglia. First time we're seeing him. Bernie Williams, David Wells. Did not see any of these players yet. Ellis Burks. Got a Greg Maddux Cy Young Award card. Tim Bogar. Cliff Floyd prospect. Cincinnati Reds. Lee Smith again with the saves record. Chris Turner. Kevin Gross. Charlie Liebrandt, and Mike Bagliarulo. Last two. Stick with me, folks. Stick with me. You can make it through this. You got this. They really are getting hard to open at the end. Mark McLemore, looking like a pretty cool baseball player in that pose. Derek Bell, Jody Reed, Bill Swift. Who am I ruining? Jeff Kent with his ruined Gold Rush card. Definitely ruined. Too bad. Jay Powell. Damon Buford. Craig Paquette. There's another Manny card. That one looks like it's been ruined though. Missing a lot on the surface. Darryl Whitmore. Carlos Quintana. Mike Lansing. Tom Pagnozzi. And Jeff Russell. To finish that off. And last pack. Last pack, folks. And seriously, what is going on with these last few packs? All right. I'm not this bad at opening packs usually, but okay. Last pack. Let's see if we can pull one more interesting thing. Got a Greg Maddux Gold Rush. Missing tons of stuff on the surface on that one. I thought it came off somewhat easily, so I was, I had a moment of being excited that maybe it had survived for the most part, but it did not. Got a Griffey in the last pack. The 8 home runs. Got a Brian Anderson draft pick again. Scott Ruffcorn, St. Louis. Kevin Stalker. Thomas Howard. And John Doherty. I guess I should move that Griffey over. That is what 94 Score looks like. Series 2, they have very, very few star players. Mostly these highlights from the previous season. You know, we got Edgar, Greg Maddux, Jeff Kent, Mike Piazza, Tim Salmon, Manny Ramirez, guys like that. Just a handful. Really nothing much to get excited about. And so I got 2 Torrey Hunters that looked fairly decent and got the 1 Billy Wagner card, which is what I was looking for this whole time. We'll have to see how that one looks. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to look at this Billy Wagner under magnification a little bit, see how it looks, but I'm going to send it in for grading. I don't care what I find. Just to share it with you guys what the card looks like coming out of the pack, especially these bricked packs stuck together. And I'm going to show you what grade I get. If it's a 7 or 8, then so be it. It's, $15 for a special. I'm going to transition over to a PSA reveal for you guys to see what I got. Keep watching and find out. Before we get into the grading, I wanted to go through some of the cards with you that I opened up. I actually peeled all of that bricked box apart. These are all the best cards that I found. Got some Torrey Hunter rookies, 2 of them. Got the Billy Wagner rookie again. Look at all of that missing paper on the front. You can see tons of spots, but really sad here. Gold foil stuff, the Gold Rush. Sammy Sosa missing across the front. Got the Mark McGwire too. All of that missing foil. It's really sad. Larry Walker, an early year card for him. Ozzie Smith, tons of stuff missing. Mike Piazza right down the middle, just ugly paper. It's paper loss from the card that was on top of it. So that's actual paper just sitting there. And then a Torrey Hunter rookie Gold Rush. So sad day, that box that was so bricked, all of these great cards in it. At least there was no Billy Wagner Gold Rush. For that, I can be thankful. And so last thing, here is the Billy Wagner card ready to go in the Card Saver 1. Going off to PSA to get graded. All right, folks, moment of truth is here. Here is the Billy Wagner card. Looking to see what the PSA grade was. What do you guys think? I'm not going to be surprised if it gets a 7, an 8. I'm hoping for a 9. No way it's going to be a 10. With how bricked a lot of those cards were together, this one wasn't so bad, but you could still hear a little bit of peeling up. So, when I looked, I didn't see a lot of loss on the surface, but who knows, right? So let's see what I got on this one to add to my Billy Wagner Master Rookie Card Set Registry. It's a Mint 9. There we go. Got the Mint 9. I think that there's only 3 of these, maybe 4 10s, something like that. So I'm happy. At least I can fill out that PSA set registry now for Billy Wagner. All right, everybody, that's it for me. Take it easy. Thanks for coming along this journey with me. Until I catch you next time, keep talking baseball, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you around.